So let's recap. El pretérito is used for actions that are over and done with in the past. They're usually one time actions or actions that have been completed a specific number of times or completed within a specific time period. El imperfecto, we remember its uses using that acronym cheated. We use it for continuous actions, habitual or repeated an undetermined number of times actions, emotions, feelings, belief, age, time, weather, endless actions, and descriptions. Our next step in this journey is to really look at the relationship between actions in the past, because this will give us clues about when we should be using preterit or imperfect. And this takes us back to the idea of the movie set. And we think about all those imperfect actions taking place around the main action. There are continuous actions that continue on in the background while the main events are taking place. Take that pot on the stove, for example. What's it doing? Boiling water, perhaps? So the pot boiling water in the background would be an imperfect action to the preterit actions that are taking place in the storyline by the actors in front. There may also be habits or repeated actions taking place here, such as the fact that maybe they drink tea every night as they make dinner. The emotions that these characters are feeling, the knowledge of things that they believe to be true, their ages, the time of day, the conditions of the room, whether it's warm or cool, or the weather conditions even outside that window, all of these would be expressed using the imperfect. And there are lots of endless actions here as well, such as the fact that the lights are on, or that there's a microwave above the sink, or that there's a counter in front of the couple. All of these actions are taking place and will carry on long after they've finished making dinner and chatting. And of course, anything that we describe about this scene would be imperfect. And that includes all of the things that the prop and wardrobe people have carefully prepared. There are pink apples in the bowl. There's lettuce that's green on the counter. The woman's hair is in a ponytail. The man is wearing a dark suit. And the list goes on. So our next step would be to look at the relationship of these actions that are taking place. We can have specific actions that take place, such as someone knocks at the door. Meanwhile, while someone's knocking at the door, what other actions are in progress at this time? Those actions would be called progressive actions because they are in progress. Let's say that the progressive action or the action in progress is me reading a book. This is an imperfect action when suddenly there's a knock at the door that interrupts my reading. Alguien tocó a la puerta. The knock is a specific action, so it would be expressed by the preterit. We could also have more than one specific actions. Someone knocked the door and then I opened it up. Specific actions are expressed in the preterit. Knock at the door, open the door. We could also have two actions that are in progress at the same time, and these would be two progressive actions. Thus, they would both be expressed using the imperfect. For example, I'm home reading my book. What other progressive action might be taking place at the same time? Perhaps my dog is sleeping on the floor beside me. So then these two actions are both in progress at the same time. Me reading, dog sleeping. Yo leía mi novela mientras mi perro dormía en el suelo. When you think about the relationship of actions, it helps to think about whether they are specific actions or in progress actions. There can be an action in progress when a specific action occurs. It may or may not interrupt the flow of the action in progress. For example, if I'm reading when someone knocks at the door, that knock may interrupt my action so that I can go and open the door, or I may choose to keep reading and let someone else open the door. Either way, me reading is an action in progress expressed in the imperfect, and the knock at the door is a specific action expressed in the preterit. There can also be a series of specific actions that take place either simultaneously or in succession. And of course, we can have two parallel actions in progress at the same time, having two progressive actions. So, as a Spanish speaker, the tense that you use gives more information about the actions that you're expressing and how they relate to each other. Here's what I mean. If I asked you, ¿Qué hacías cuando viste el accidente? I'm asking you what you were doing when you saw the accident. The imperfect has been used here with the verb hacer to show that that is the action in progress when you saw the accident. So maybe I was in the process of walking when I saw the accident. However, look what happens when I change the verb hacer from imperfect to preterit. It now reads, ¿Qué hiciste cuando viste el accidente? By having both verbs in the preterite tense, I've now indicated that they are two specific actions. And by changing these tenses, I have also changed the meaning. I am no longer asking, what were you doing when you saw the accident? Now I'm asking what you did when you saw the accident. Perhaps when I saw the accident, I called 911. Have a look here at some useful words and phrases to connect actions. We have durante, meaning during, cuando, meaning when, mientras, meaning while, and en el momento que, at the moment that. Let's try out one of those phrases. Think about this. ¿Qué hacer durante las vacaciones? I want to ask you what you did during your vacation. So, what tense would I put the verb hacer in? Would I say ¿qué hiciste o qué hacías? Well, let's look at the relationship of these actions. That vacation time is a progressive action itself. However, it's important to note that it is a defined period of time. Whether you went to the Bahamas for 1 week, to the coast of Spain for 2 weeks, or spent a month in Mexico, it's still vacation is telling us it is a defined period of time. So this tells us that any actions that took place during that action in progress of being in vacation would now be specific actions. So those actions would be expressed in the preterite. Therefore, I am asking, ¿qué hiciste durante las vacaciones? When you tell me I went to the beach, I visited a museum, I ate at really good restaurants, all of those things that took place during that action in progress of you being on vacation would all have been expressed in the preterite. That's why I've put hiciste in the preterite. I guess all that's left to say is that I hope that while you watch this video, mientras mirabas el video, that you learned something about expressing the past. Aprendiste del pasado. Adiós.